Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kill if you prefer. So I'm back with another video. I wanted to alert you to something. It's one of the creative websites I use every now and then. It's called Sticker Mule. And right now they're testing a social media platform of theirs called stimulus.com. So there's a contest going on, and I got a notification in my email to help them beta test for $500. I'm having some mechanical work done, and $500 would go a long way. With that being said, though, so I signed up, like, why not? But then I came across this. So there is a verification process, and I know Twitter, if you want the little blue check mark, you have to verify who you are. But that on Twitter, it's at least optional. With stimulus.com, it's not. In order to post, you actually have to verify who you are. And as you can see, I have this menu pulled up for the verification process. And this is where social media is going. And I know places like YouTube already require your street address. If your channel's monetized, they need allergies. They need a verified debit card or credit card to transfer the money to, or a PayPal or bank account. So I get that. But here you have a platform, because not even Facebook does this. At least I have yet to have this issue with Facebook. I've heard of other people having to enter a driver's license or a state ID or some sort of government identification in order to get back onto Facebook's platform. But this is where we are headed to, where they want to verify everybody. And as I was even setting up my profile, when I went to go enter a username, it said legal name preferred. Why? This is not, I don't even use my real name on Facebook. Do you guys remember when Facebook actually tried to enforce that quite a few years back? That they wanted legitimate names on the Facebook profiles, and people started to go around and troll and report Facebook profiles that weren't using their real name. And when the profile got reported, you had to enter a state or driver's license in order to verify that, yes, this is my name that I'm using on this account. It's my legal name, blah, 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 blah. So, and I understand trying to counteract bots, spam, troll campaigns, what have you, keeping track of individuals who have been banned. But because of the age of censorship, the fact that what many social media platforms and even paid services are doing nowadays, because they want to push a certain narrative. Like, here's the thing. I've had, and I'm not besmirching Sticker Mule. I've actually had good business with Sticker Mule. I ordered I think it was like 20 custom made buttons a while back. I never used them, but they came out really nice and they were perfectly fine. And I don't know the history of Sticker Mule. I don't know what kind of spurred this. I haven't bought anything from them in a while, but I got this in my email, and again, $500 because I'm having mechanical work done. That does go a long way, if not take out a huge chunk, depending on what the mechanical work is. And what I'm having done is fairly expensive, but it will have my car live a long time. Anyway, so I just kind of wanted to bring this up to your guys' attention. I have yet to have anybody talk about stimulus.com. I'll show you, because I actually have a profile pic pulled up here. Let me see if you guys can see this proper. So as you guys can see, it actually looks like a mix between Twitter and Gab. Why are you not letting me click on that? Thank you. So as you can see, it's a little bit janky already. But you have who to follow here. Stems, which is tweets or gabs or what have you. Photos, videos. But here's the thing. There is no like follow. Who they're following, who their followers are, which that in itself is a mixed bag because like when you have stuff that happens, say like on Twitter, people will go look to see who the person's following, who's following them, and that usually because people, this is a double-edged sword. So you could see sometimes what people's intentions are depending on who they follow. And I think Stimulus, like I said, this is the first time I'm ever hearing of this social media platform, and this is in beta testing. So that could be a cutback of harassment because that's actually how I have gone and found people or reached out to people in the past when I really needed to, was looking to see who they're following. It used to be to where you could pull up a whole bunch of stuff going off the person's username or old username. It'll be connected to the new account. So there's a lot of stuff that Twitter used to allow, so I'm not sure how much Stimulus is going to allow. Like there's a lot of websites now or social media platforms that's trying to mimic the Twitter model. As far as I know, with Gab, it's still janky. There's times to where what I post doesn't always load, and as you can see, like the search bar, I'm not sure what giveaways, what that's supposed to entail, but you have people, but you don't have tweets. You don't have replies. You don't have what they posted. So I do think Stimulus is going to be very limited. As you can see, there's really not anything here. I'm not sure when this launched. So again, I don't know anything about this platform. I have yet to hear anybody talk about it. It would be interesting to see who is behind Sticker Mule and who is pushing stimulus.com. And as I said before, it's just they want to verify everybody on this platform. So even though the legal name is preferred, right now they're not enforcing it. I mean, my first and last name is already out there attached to the chambers of my heart, but at the same time, I have yet to have one social media platform to where I have to enter my driver's license. And I can't remember with Twitter. No, Twitter, I didn't have to give them my address. YouTube, I did because my YouTube channel is monetized, and I think that is the only social media platform that has that right now. Anything else, to my knowledge or from memory, does not have any of those things and does not require me to put in any of those things. So I don't know if there's going to be, like, if this social media platform does not take off, are they going to do away with information? Doubtful, but I don't know what the real intentions are of stimulus.com. I don't know who's running it. I don't know the background of it. It'd be something to look into, but they're very much trying to mimic Twitter and Gab. Well, Gab was trying to mimic Twitter. Gab has its own janky problems, as I said. Parler tried to do the same thing, but really didn't take off. I created a Parler. I don't use it. It's junk. I think I find it having more problems, far more problems than Gab ever could. It is very limited in my opinion. Um, but this is like bare bones right now, and I don't know how much this social media platform is going to allow in regards to searching for people, searching what people said, because I don't know. Here's the thing, and that's the other part of Twitter is people use it for cancel culture. Um, Obviously, as you guys know, they dig through people's Twitter accounts for old tweets, and if you're shadow banned, you really can't go back and look unless you were to scroll the person's entire timeline. And also, something I noticed before my personal Twitter account got nuked, I actually could not pull up because I had that Twitter account ever since 2009, 2010. So it's a pretty old account that I had for quite a few years. There was tweets because I did try this a couple times and I noticed that some of the features on Twitter itself was changing. I could not pull up my old tweets from 2009, 2010, and I never did nuke my Twitter. All of my history before my Twitter account got nuked, everything from tweets from the old community I was part of, disputes I had, freaking dumb crap that happened on there. Everything was on there. And what I started to notice is Twitter started to, should I say, block out or do away with older years of tweets. Like they started to get rid of that data. So there is like years I cannot go back and look on. I think the earliest I had on my account that I could see was maybe 2011. The first 2 years of my account, its history, like with all those tweets, were gone. So that's something that Twitter was slowly starting to do. I don't know if they're still doing it. I just noticed it with my account personally, and I don't know if other people have tried to go through their old tweets just because either they're looking for something or they remember tweeting something and they couldn't find it. So, and that is another thing about Twitter is if your account is shadow banned, you can't even go and look up your own tweets because your account does not pull up any search results. And it happened with mine before it got nuked. I had somebody looking for the Save James thread I had made during the October 2019 hearing. But anyway, going back to this, so I know nothing of this. And the fact that they want to verify everybody right away is both troubling and it's a mixed bag because I can understand getting rid of bots and spam and people who are just freaking punks off the website, but because of the crazy age that we're in of censorship, hive mind, how dare you think this way, this and that, I don't know if this is going to be a good thing because there's also, what was it, Gab? If you guys remember, 1 or 2 years back, somebody hacked into Gab. Could be 3 to 4 years. Somebody got into Gab's database and got a hold of usernames, information. So I don't know how secure Sticker Mule's social media platform is. I haven't really received any newsletters on this. I just received an email. Hey, help us test this beta social media platform for $500. So if you guys know anything about it, put it in the link in the description below. I'm gonna try to do some reading on it, as there's so many social media platforms popping up, and I don't know. Like this is something too. I don't know if this is a result of Elon Musk buying Twitter. Now remember that is quite a few month process. That could be anywhere from 6 months to a year. It has to be approved. And as I said, for anybody who knows anything about companies buying each other out or merging, Homeland gets involved, which, for example, a perfect example of the Homeland Security Defense getting involved is the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. That's for anybody who works in cell phones and has been for a few years now would know about that mess because that is a hot mess. But the Homeland Security had to get involved in that one. Another example is Disney acquired Fox. I don't know if they particularly got involved in that one because it doesn't have to do with communication. That's more like media stuff. Cell phones are a little bit more tricky because you have first responders that depend on them, government services, the like. So, anyway, as I said, it is a process, could be a long one, has to pass through certain court systems. Any lawsuits that may come about because of it have to be disputed, resolved, all that shit. So, with that being said, though, with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter, whether or not that is actually going to be legitimized, we don't know yet. We really don't know. All they did was accept his offer, and so I think everybody's celebrating a little bit too early with that. And then on top of it, Elon Musk has ties to China, and something that has been brought up, because I was kind of debating whether or not to do a video on it, but I'll mention it here, is the CCP. It's the Communist China Republic, Communist or Chinese Communist Party, if I got that abbreviation right. They've been trying to infiltrate Twitter for a while with propaganda and misinformation. Now, I know we've heard those words all over the place, and you hear like a big Russian misinformation about the stuff in Ukraine. Supposedly, they were involved in the 2020 election propaganda bullshit. Anyway, but with the CCP, and especially with the stuff with COVID, the pandemic, and all that other stuff, and the origin of COVID, among other things, they've been trying to push propaganda and misinformation about, oh, hey, it's a US fault, blah, 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 blah. So they've been caught doing this on Twitter for quite a few years, and every time Twitter finds one of their profiles or one of their accounts, they get booted off. The account gets banned. So what's important about Elon Musk having ties to China, for those of you who do not know, his main factory, Tesla, is in Shanghai. You can look this up. So, because at first I was kind of celebrating, and as I had mentioned, I spoke to someone who is familiar with Elon Musk's dealings, not on a personal level, but it affects their work in a way. And so they were talking to me about it, and then I started to come across some stuff about Elon Musk in regards to his ties. So Elon Musk, and also something too, because that thumbnail I made for my YouTube channel of the Twitter headquarters being on fire and Elon Musk staring at the Twitter logo in a bird cage, and there's like 5 dark shadows in the background here off to the right. So that was made before I started reading any of this stuff, because when you have a billionaire who suddenly steps up saying, hey, we're going to do freedom of speech, all this and that, as I said, I was excited. I was laughing at the meltdown, but there's also another part of me going like, there's more to this, because this is a power play. And at first, people thought Elon Musk was going to nuke it. That's not the case. I do think, and a lot more people are kind of talking about this, is if it's legitimized, it could open the door for the CCP to get in on Twitter. Because, as I said before, they've been trying to for quite a few years. Now, I know we went off into the weeds, and the reason why I pointed that entire mess out was because you have more and more companies and high figures trying to launch their own social media platforms that has a similar model to Twitter. You have Trump, was it Getter or Truth Seeker? I think Getter actually belongs to someone else. So you've had so many, how should I say, Twitter copies or Twitter replicas pop up, and here's another one by a customized clothing shop, online customized clothing shop, and object shop. So everybody, it seems, is trying to get on and onto this, and they're trying to combat the problems that Twitter is having, and spam and bots is like a huge freaking thing right now. So, and I know this video's gone on to 20 minutes, but I wanted to bring this to your attention. So again, I don't know if I'm going to go through the verification. The $500 would be nice, but at the same time, I mean, this website already has my address and things like that because I have purchased stuff from them in the past. Um, but an ID in order to post, like, what are they gonna do with that? I'm not trying to be a big influencer. I'm not trying to be a verified blue check mark in Twitter terms. I'm not trying to be any of those things. I do feel staying anonymous online is important. It's a double-edged sword, but at the same time, anonymity needs to stay in place, particularly because you do have certain individuals who could die if their country found out what they were saying about certain things online, especially when you have people from places like China, which get dragged away to re-education camps. You have certain things that are classified as hate speech in certain countries. Like Elon Musk has already been threatened by people from the EU saying, well, you have to follow our laws or you're not going to operate here. And so, again, this is right now, we're looking at a big social media war because you have people who are trying to run up against Twitter. You've seen people try to run up against YouTube, and that has failed spectacularly. Rumble, not real popular. Video Me or vid.me died. Stream Me Live got freaking taken off because the owner got threatened. BitChute's getting a little bit better, but it's still a hot mess. There's certain things you can't do on it by far that you can do on YouTube. I don't know anything about Odyssey. I don't use it. What is it? Vimeo. You really don't hear much about Vimeo anymore. Dailymotion. Is that even still a thing? So there's been multiple platforms that have tried to go against these big guys for quite a while, and have failed spectacularly. At this point, there is nobody that can compete with YouTube, Twitter, Google. I've tried to use Bing.com and anyway. So, but yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna look into this a bit more and see who's kind of running behind it, and kind of go from there. Right now I'm just gonna leave the profile hanging. I could use the 500, but no, not for this. No thanks. With that being said, if I find out anything interesting about this, I'll let you guys know. If you guys do, post it in the comment section and I will look into it. You guys have a wonderful night or day, wherever you're at.